First we'll see what type of validations we have. Generally there will be two types of validations. One is client side validation and server side validation. So client side validation means making the fields required and which will generally run on the browser side. So here what we will do for this is, for this basic validation called making it required. So we need, so some fields are required fields will be there on the UI. So we need to make them required fields. Let's say if you run the case, here customer information and event information is there. So here without entering data also we can go ahead. But I want to make this customer first name, last name, these things are required fields. These are the required fields, means making mandatory. So that is very simple in PEGA. Just open the section where you are designing the UI. I'm using live UI to open that. While configuring the controls, on whichever the controls are mandatory, double click on the first name is mandatory. Double click on it, you can see here a required field will be there. Required. So it's never, make it always. So when you make always, you can see the red colored asterisk symbol is appending at the end of the first name, the label. That is the visual indication for the yes.
The screen sharing is not moving. For me, it's still appearing the Excel sheet validation.
Oh, really?
Content.
Hello, Venkat. Venkat, you went to offline. It's showing.
No, I'm able to hear you.
But you went to offline.
Showing the screen showing. I think offline. You are in offline now.
Yeah.
Can you? For me, it's the screen is moving.
See, required field is there. Here we need to make it always in the section. Come here and just make that a property or control as required always.
Here I have one more doubt, Subhash. So at property level, if you select the field property as text, then so will it allow numbers and alpha?
Yeah, text means it's a free form, so it will accept anything. Numbers it will accept.
Okay.
Numbers is also kind of text only. Okay, that's a free form. When I say text means you can enter anything.
Well, suppose if you want to avoid say numbers, only if you want to allow like alphabetics, then what property is supposed to select?
I mean, property you cannot do, then you can do validation. So once the data is entered, you can check like first name should not contain any special characters or numbers. So you can do that one. Yes, we will do that one. So this is like basic validation.
So that means with the property we cannot control it. Definitely we should go over the validations.
Yes, control type, I mean, we cannot control that one. So because here we don't have anything, something saying that it accepts only characters. Okay. Text input means it will accept anything. So it's not like PEGA. I mean, even if you say in the browser, it's a browser based, right? We don't have any UI controls like that. When I say text input type or text, it will accept anything.
Okay.
So now if we go here, let me refresh it once. Now you can see the asterisk symbol is coming. Now now you cannot go further without entering values. So you can see the value cannot be blank. This is out of the box functionality. Without entering, you cannot go further. Now you can go further. So when I will say, but this is just like making the fields required. But if you see the data, the email, it's not a valid email address. It's not a valid data. Okay. And if you want to do data validation, generally you can go for server side validation, because the data will be stored at the server side. You need to connect to server and again get the data. And now here we have two types of validations. One is edit to validate, say property validation, and form validation. Property validation means, so if you want to do a single property validation, you can do property validation. For this you will use a rule called edit validate. You will use edit validate. So for this edit validate, generally we require the Java coding. That is why the property validation is not recommended, but I will show you how to use that. But you can use it out of the box functionalities. Now the name indicates property validation. Let's say I want to validate the email. So let's go here. Let's open the property email. Because that is a property, you need to do a property level. Go to email and go to advanced. But the disadvantage here is if you keep it at property level, what happens is, so in this screen I have one requirement, in another screen I have some other validation requirement. So in that case it won't work out, because we are keeping it from property level. Wherever you use this property, the same validation will work out. And moreover, it requires the Java coding to write the edit validate rules. That is why it's not a recommended approach. But Pega provides a lot of out of the box things, out of the box validation rules. You can use that one. Let's say if you want to check only is alphabet, is letter, is digit, you can see here. So I think it will check. So if you keep use letter, it will check whether say alphabet, whether all the letters are letters or you have any numbers. So they can use this for first name. So for this validation, email validation, already we have valid email. So valid email address is there. If you open this, you can see the Java coding. You can see the rule name as edit validate. You can see this is the Java coding for that. So let's try this, how it is working. Let's save this. Now let's say I'm giving the data, but I am not giving a valid email address. When I say, you can see when I give the enter, automatic is coming. So enter a valid email address. Because it's not a valid email. Valid email address means other symbol should be there, and then some content should be there after that. See here. This is a valid email address. Giving the data is different than validating the data. So you're giving the data, but the data is not valid. Let's say here you want to accept only characters, letters. So here you can keep the same thing. Use letter out of the box rulers, you can open that. Open the property, go to advanced. Here it will validate is letter. So let's try this. Now I am giving FG123. Click next. I can see invalid value specified for the first name, valid value for the first name. So you can see here 123 is there. So you are giving some numbers here. It's not a valid letter. So you can remove this, and you can now you can see it will accept. Like that you can do property level validation if you want to do. So but here we are using out of the box validation rules. But if you want to write your own validation rule, that is not recommended, but as a developer you should know. Let's say I want to write my own validator rule using Java coding. So this is the one place where we require Java coding. That is why PEGA don't recommend using that. So for now just we'll see how to write. So for zip code I want to write my own validation. For India zip code there is no validation rule available. So I want to write the India validation rule. Let's say I'm creating India zip. So just I am checking only six digits, 6 letters. I'm not doing much logic here. So you can write any logic in the Java coding. So here, so the value means, so we have some configurations in the Java coding. The value means is a property value. The property is the property name. So the value dot length not equal to 6. Then I want to add the message. So I want to add the message to the property. So I'm using the property. This property is just the property name. So add message is the method. So return true means there is no errors. Return false means there are some errors. Also I'm taking reverse. Okay, let's try this. I think I should give reverse. One problem is there if the value. I think the line should have some function. Yep. So here the system won't give you any help while writing the Java coding, and if you have knowledge on Java coding only you can write this one, otherwise you will get a lot of errors like this. And now go to that this I'm giving 1 2, so I should show an error. It's not giving an error means I should give reverse. It should be true means error. Oh, I should save this one. Second. Yeah, now it's coming. So in return false means there is some error, return true means there is no error. So if it is length, if the length is not equal to 6, so just now expects that if the edit value returns false, that is an error. So it will return error, and then what is the message is this one. So whatever the message associated with this property, that will be displayed. Zip code should be 6 digits.
Subhash Venkat here.
Yep.
Subhash, right now, so we developed Java code validation for India chip code, right? So if you wanted to use this particular validations for other fonts or for other applications, so inside this PEGA 2, can we do it? Right now
So
we defined, so we created through property, right?
Correct. This is, yes, you can use it say for other property as well. But this is called property validation because we are doing at property level. This is called property validation. So wherever you
will it become a function library? This means it would be reusable across the applications.
Yes, you can use it anywhere. Other applications now, it's not for other applications, only for this application because it is associated with the rule set.
Associated rule set with this particular application?
Yes.
Okay.
So because
if you want to define such validations, these generic validations, so that means
validations, those kind of
common
things.
Common library, right? Then what is the process?
There's a library for validations here, so it should be application specific. Okay. So you can keep some mirrored validate rules like this in the organization layer so that you can use in other applications. That's what you can do.
So while creating instead of the application class, so you're suggesting if you use the organization class, then it would be useful for rest of the applications as well, right?
Correct.
Okay, fine. Please go ahead.
And now this is, and moreover, this is not recommend PEGA, don't write Java code. That is why it's not a better approach in that one. So now we are, and moreover, it is very difficult to do property by property like this. And that is why PEGA recommends going for form level validation. A form level validation is a validation which do the entire form. So you can do validation for all the properties at a time, which are there in the form. So how can we do that? So the form level validation, we will use a validate rule. So there is small difference. You can see this is edit validate, this is validate. So to just understand that, you can see this is edit validate rule. When I do editing, people just only confused with that. You can see getting edit validate rules. So that means that I am editing edit validate rule. Okay. So for that also you get edit validate when you are editing, but it doesn't mean that it's a edit validate rule. It's a validation rule. This edit is coming. That to indicate first edit will come to indicate that we are doing some modifications. So now if you want to do form level validation, you need to create a validation rule that will be available at the flow action level. So if you go for flow action, so let's open the flow action for the first screen. So I'm doing it only for the first screen. You can do it for all the screens. Let's go for flow action. The flow action level, you can see validation tab is there. So go to validation tab. Here you can specify the validation rule. So here, so generally the naming should be validate, and then you can give your functionality name, customer data, so that it will be easy to identify. So I mean, no need to check the logic inside that to verify if it's a validation rule or not. So you can give the indication like validate, so it's automatically give some sense like we are using it for the validation purpose. So here you can write property to validate. So let's say I want to validate phone number, customer phone number. Let's say customer dot phone. So customer dot phone should be 10 digits. You can check that here. like so here you can write more than one condition as well. So here a lot of functions are available. So whichever the function suits for us requirement, just select that one. Let's say I want to check, I want to use some merit validation rules. Validation of customer dot phone using, so everything should be digits first of all. Is integer, is digit. And if you want to check you only US zip code, US already for US phone already we have something else, but for India we don't have any phone numbers. So I'm checking is non-negative, and then I want to write one more condition, and I want to check the length of the that field should be 10 digits because phone number should be 10 digits in India. So I'm checking customer dot phone. So we have length fields. So this again we have a lot of functions. These functions are different, and we have other lot of functions are there. We have seen this expression builder already. So this we have string functions will be available. You can use that. Phone, if it is not equal to 10, so you can write the validation rule. Phone number should be 10 digits. The first property, and you can do it for all the properties. Just I am doing for first name, phone name. You can do it for first name. If you want, you can do it for local last name. And if you have any business validations, it's just like we are checking them some kind of these are not the business validation. These are just like just to ensure that data is valid. Sometimes there's some business validation saying that this value should not be this much. Let's say somebody is saying customer name should not be test. What is my requirement? So I can write customer dot first name. So I'm checking. So first value, second value. Let's say first value is customer first name, so equal to test. So if it is equal to test, I want to throw an error message saying that first name should not be test. So there will be some requirements, something like this. So this property should not contain these values. So you can check something like this. So and then you can add any number of properties here. Let's say, and I want to take address dot state. So I am saying state should be only two properties. Let's say in that case what you can do. So in the state I want to accept only two states, okay, either TN or AP, let's say. So here what I am saying, if it is not equal to TN or if it is not equal to AP, I want to send a message. This is simple business requirement I am taking. There is the simple business requirement. So like this, here you can see you can write any number of validations. You can add the properties on the entire form. In the form we have 10 properties, let's say. So if you want to validate entire 10 properties, you can add one by one. And if you want to do only first certain properties, you can do it as well. And then if you run it, save this one as well. Let's try one by one. So just let's say I'm giving text here. So as per our requirement, first name should not be text. So let's click submit. I can see first name should not be text. So giving a message saying that first name should not be text, and you can see state name should be either TN or AP. It's not coming. So let's select that one as well. TN. And zip code is not coming. Just give 1, 2, 3 here and submit. Now you can see zip code should be 6 digits. Sorry, phone number. Yeah, this one. Let's remove this phone number. This then we are already there. So first name is number test. I'm giving all the wrong values. Phone is not validating. So what is happening? We are selecting and should be R. Because here either of the one fails, then I want to another message, right? So now if you try it, I can see phone number should be 10 digits. So all our messages are coming. I am giving all failure values. They can see all things are coming at a time. Just give some more value here. Submit. Error is gone. Oh. Again, you should give space is not recommended. Not already we have some other validation rule on that first name. Like it accepts only text. Even space is also not acceptable. So that is first thing. So TN. Here we go. Oh, we have given TN only, right? Let me check that. So we are checking. If the address is either not equal to TN, not equal to AP, should be and how should be and. Let's use and here. Now this error should gone. Yeah. So first name we have given correct value, last name state we have given correct value. First phone number I'm giving 56789 digits. This is also valid value. Now it's going for next. Do entire form level validation here. You can do single property, you can do multiple properties, you can do whatever the properties you want to validate on that particular screen, you can do using the validation rule. So any doubts here in the validation?
No, Subhash.
Okay.
Subhash, for every form level, do we have to write the validations?
Do you have?
Right now, so you implemented flow action on the form level, right?
Correct.
So
We need to write that. So as a developer, you need to develop that. So system don't know what is the requirements for that. So you need to open the flow action and you need to write the validation rules.
Okay, there is no way like a JSP and JavaScript that one JavaScript or something should be written that should be called while you're submitting the each form function wise. Can we do it like that?
No, it's not like no. So in that case, you can go for that one. So property level validation. So wherever you use the property, the same validation will be triggered. So this is when you do for form level validation. This is only for that particular screen. We are displaying some screen. For this screen, I am doing the validation, not for other things.
But if you go for the property validation, so it's more over kind of edit validate and the custom code is required, right?
Yes, yes.
So, but
But
PEGA is not recommending that, right?
but most of the times, we have a lot of out of the box. You can use out of the box, but you cannot create your own requirements, own Java code. That is not a best practice. But here we can, there is no global something kind of thing. You can do form level elements only for that form, and you can create one more. So because we are creating validation rule is applicable for each and every flow action. Again, you need to create that. There is no like a reusability in the validation rules.
Okay, it would be associated with particular flow action.
Yes,
And
for
right?
that form only.
Okay. So, but PEGA recommendation would be form level validation with available out of the box validate method. Good.
And then now we will see what are the pending screens. First we'll develop them and then we'll come here. So we completed this. This screen is fine. Let me click the sub case. Yeah, well, sub case. In sub case also first screen is done. The second screen, yeah, we'll do something. Here also is fine. Yeah, wait for appointment. This one we need to develop. So first we'll develop the screens and then we'll go for other activities. This is also done. So this also we need to do. Set replace product. This is also done. Only two screens are pending, so we'll do that one. I will come back to actual rows. So let's open the case. Product in the product time. One is wait screen. Wait for appointment is pending, and then the replace product is pending. Let's open that. So here I want to use wait shape again because I want to wait for the appointment date. I want to wait the case on the for the appointment time. So whatever the appointment time is given, the case should wait until that time. Then the case will be open. I will go further. So it's dependent on the timer. What is the timer here? The timer is appointment date. Wait for appointment date. Wait till appointment date. And I want for developer testing purpose, I want to give to go further, a button to go further, so that we can manually click on that button and we can go further. And after that, select replace product. So if you are coming here, that means that the feedback is, so we need to do conditional processing as well. We will see that one anyway. And then here, the screen is fine. We need to develop something here. Flow action first. Create this flow action. Create the section. So here I want to display replaceable product details. So for that I am using again, let's say drop down again. We have to replace product ID, one more product, one more key I will create. So replace product ID. I need to create this property. It's not available. Close. Here I want to display this in the, how do we have database? Already have a database for getting the products. Product list. Not displaying any categories. What is different it is D underscore product details list. Okay, already we have shown the category name, so you can display that category name is there in the dot category. In the same category, I want to display the product details. And then in the below I want to display the product and separate product information. So already we can use that same product details. So category name we are storing somewhere, right? Not in product details. What is the product information? So what we that is not there in the product claim, so I think that is there in the claim level. So what I will do, I will save as the same thing into work level, so that I can reuse the same property. Subcategory is there in here, so I am saving this one into work layer. Save it. Here again you can use one more property, replace product details. This is a page level copy, so page single page STM data product details. Replace product info dot id, the product ID. display category name. But then price, then model number, let's say. So I'll display this information and everything should be read only again. So the screen is done. So we develop all the screens. Now no screens are pending in the case level. So wrap up here, generally we need to notify the customer, so that we will do in the email, confirming the email. So now basically what we need to do, we need to discuss new topic called declarative processing. It will take 1 hour time. We'll discuss that in the next class. We'll wrap it here for today and we'll see new topic tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, and yeah, Subhash, I have one more question. So most of the validations will be covered through validate and edit validate
I mean the
categories?
only, yes, you need to do through validation rule only. All the validation, not only most of the validation. That is the way you need to do. So we have only 3 types of validations. One is required mandatory, making mandatory. That is anyway straightforward. And then edit valid is not recommended because it requires Java coding. So you need to always go for the validation rule only.
Okay, suppose so my validation particular function.
Already we have seen something is not achievable using validation rule, and a lot of customization required. You can go for activities. The activities also you can do validation. That we will discuss in the activity concept.
Yeah, one more question I have. Suppose so activity kind. Suppose I wanted to check it out. Okay, what is that? Customer number is available in the database or not while they are entering or while they are going to file a claim. So in that case, can we use a report definition and database as a reference, and can we go ahead and do the validation?
Yes, we can do it. That's what you need to do. So something if you want to check in the database value, so you can first get the value and keep it ready with the data page, and you can check whether whether the value is available in the database or not using the validation. The validation rule you can check, or else you can use activities. The validation rule also you can check whether.
I think PEGA is recommending, so in exception case only go for the activities, right? As for PEGA 7.
Yes, there are some countries, there are some ways. I mean, there are some things where we cannot avoid using activities. So in those scenarios, we should go for activities only. But some scenarios, we can use other rules other than activities. Most of the times we can use other rules, but there will be very rare cases where we cannot avoid using activity, that we will see when discussing about activities concepts.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.